Tonight, investigations underway into whether material washed up on a West Australian beach is linked to the missing Malaysian Airlines plane. Also ahead, ready for takeoff, the government's record air defence deal. The Treasurer makes his case for reining in spending ahead of next week's release of the Commission of Audit report. And Mick Fanning claims the Bells Beach Prize for the third time. Good evening, you're watching ABC News. I'm Michelle Rafferty. The Australian Transport Safety Bureau is examining photographs of material that washed up on the West Australian coast near Augusta to see if it's related to the missing Malaysian Airlines flight MH370. The material has been handed to police in Busselton, from where ABC reporter Roxanne Taylor filed this report a short time ago.
The Australian Transport ABC News, Busselton.
Bad weather in the southern Indian Ocean has suspended the aerial search for the missing plane for a second day in a row. Ex-tropical cyclone Jack is causing heavy seas and poor visibility, and authorities say conditions are just too dangerous. 11 aircraft were due to take part in today's operations, 855 kilometres northwest of Perth. The 12 ships involved will continue with their planned activities, while the Bluefin 21 underwater vehicle was deployed on its 10th mission. Flight 370 disappeared more than 6 weeks ago with 239 people on board. The Prime Minister Tony Abbott has promised not to abandon the families of the victims. It's billed as the fastest fighter jet on the planet, and Australia is snapping up $12 billion worth to spearhead the nation's defence for the next half-century. The bulk of the new jets will be based at Williamstown RAAF base near Newcastle in New South Wales. That's expected to bring an investment and jobs windfall to the region.
The day in Worsley, ABC News.
The Treasurer has tonight flagged more upfront fees for government services and tougher tests to get welfare benefits. Joe Hockey's giving sterner warnings of the approach he'll take to preparing his first budget. He's highlighting sharp rises in spending projected by his Commission of Audit, and is promising to make all of its work public next week.
Soon, ABC News, Canberra.
The Environmental Protection Authority is to assess the Western Australian Government's 3-year shark cull program, which is due to begin in November. The review will look at the impact of the policy on the marine fauna and may be run jointly with the Commonwealth, which is also deciding whether to assess the proposal.
The state government's use of ABC News.
US President Barack Obama is starting a week-long Asian tour tonight. He's arrived in Japan, where a toxic waste dispute on the island of Okinawa has increased calls for the US military to pull out. North Asia correspondent Matthew Carney reports.
It was meant ABC News, Okinawa.
Sydney FC has sacked coach Frank Verena after 2 years at the helm. The club made the call in the wake of Sydney's exit from the A-League finals at the weekend. Verena was under pressure to retain his job after the Sky Blues' indifferent season, where they finished 5th on the ladder. In a statement, Sydney FC chairman Scott Barlow said Verena had shown great integrity and resolve in often challenging circumstances this year. Still on soccer, and the Western Sydney Wanderers have stormed into the knockout stage of the Asian Champions League. They beat Jiwei Rene 5-0 days out from the A-League final semi against the Central Coast Mariners.
Western Sydney needed at least to now have a pivotal part to play. Patrick Galloway, ABC News.
Former West Tigers playmaker Benji Marshall has been officially released by his rugby union team, the Auckland Blues. Marshall says he'll be coming home to Australia, and he's been linked with the Cronulla Sharks and the Melbourne Storm.
The sidestepping superstar of...
The AFL is enlisting the game's best players to try to revive the international series against Ireland. Interest in the event has waned in recent years, and its future was by no means certain. The AFL has confirmed there'll be a one-off match in Perth this November, with one key change. Only players selected in the annual All-Australian team will be eligible to play.
The success of this game is dependent on the calibre of the people involved. We think we've nailed that, and if we have, then this will be the blueprint for how we operate in the future.
Collingwood coach Nathan Buckley says defender Marley Williams is likely to make his return to football in the VFL this weekend. Yesterday, Williams received a suspended sentence over an assault in Western Australia. Reigning surfing world champion Mick Fanning has beaten Australian Taj Barrow to win the Bells Beach Pro. The final was shifted to nearby Winky Pop and Fanning mastered the conditions for his third title at Bells. The winner will also kick-started Fanning's world title defence. He's now third in the rankings.
Every year you're in the race or you're trying to fight to get in the race, and you know, with the calibre of surfers that's on tour right now, there's no easy heats.
In the women's final, Carissa Moore successfully defended her title. The reigning world champion edged out Australian Tyler Wright by less than a point in a rematch of last year's final.
I was so stoked. You know, I was looking forward to it coming down to the last 10 minutes and her, you know, posting a big score, and hopefully I could get another one, but it just felt really good to surf and to see her perform. She's always a pleasure to watch.
An American boxer has gatecrashed Alex Leopai's heavyweight title media conference to demand a showdown with the reigning world champion Vladimir Klitschko. 42-year-old Shannon Briggs stormed into the Dusseldorf hotel, challenging the Ukrainian and insulting the Australian.
Come on down here and you're going to get knocked out before you fight. You're going to get knocked out before you fight. You a bum, Lepai. You a bum.
When order was restored, the Queenslander dismissed suggestions he needed to land a lucky punch to win.
No, I worked so hard for 12 rounds, and we were looking at a 12-round fight. You know, and if it comes, it comes. But that one lucky punch, no, we're not looking at that, mate.
He's adamant Klitschko's size won't give him any advantage when they step into the ring on Sunday morning.
Hello everyone. Cloud areas have been increasing over Queensland due to a Tennant Creek.
The Duke and Duchess of Cambridge were in South Australia today, albeit briefly. Some people spent longer waiting to see them than the royals actually spent in the state. For some royal watchers, the day held even greater significance. They were there half a century ago when Queen Elizabeth visited the suburb named in her honour.
Not much trumps a Adelaide.
You can keep up to date on all the stories that we're following by visiting our website. That's abc.net.au/news. That's the news for now. I'm Michelle Rafferty. Stay with us. 7:30 is up next. That's the news for now. I'm Michelle Rafferty. Stay with us. Lateline is next. And if you need to keep up to date on all the stories we're following by visiting our website, that's abc.net.au/news.